Hi, everybody, and welcome. It's our first look at the Eagles' opponent on Sunday, the Houston Texans. I'm Eagles insider Dave Spadaro, along with Brian Westbrook, the Eagles Hall of Famer. And if you don't believe that the Texans are for real, well, you are mistaken. They've won 10 of their last 11 games. They've got stars on both sides of the ball. And, Brian, they've got something to play for. They're playing for the number 2 seed in the AFC. Yeah. So Sunday, 1 o'clock, huge game, 2 teams with a lot on the line.
When you look at the Texans, I mean, they have an awful lot of talent, not far away from the team that we played last week in the Rams. They have a quarterback that's mobile, has the ability to scramble and use his legs, strong arm to throw the ball down the field. So that means our defense has to be on point at all times and also be aware that he will run the football. They have a running back in Lamar Miller that has done a pretty decent job. Not a lot of people have heard about him, but he is a very good running back, averaging over 4 yards a carry. And they have one of the best receivers in the game in Hopkins. And he goes out every single game, and he had a big game this past week and embarrasses defenders. He's able to jump over you. He's able to go up and catch those 50-50 balls. He can make route running look like a science. He's done a great job with it, and this offense continues to roll.
It's interesting, though, watching them play the Jets on Saturday, it really wasn't all there for the Texans. And they go through stretches where the offense kind of clinks and clunks, and then they get a big play, or Deshaun Watson runs, or I'm not sure. How good is this offense, and what does Jim Schwartz do against this offense to take them out of the rhythm?
Well, I think you almost employ the same type of game plan. Don't give up the big plays. Don't allow Hopkins and Thomas to get behind you. Make them dink and dunk you to death. If they want to get down the field, you're going to have to run 12, 13, 14 plays to get a touchdown. We're going to make you earn it every single step of the way. That's how you frustrate teams. We did it last week against Jared Goff and their big-time offense. We can do the same type of mindset and philosophy against this Houston Texans football team.
Deshaun Watson, interesting player coming off the ACL injury, one of the bright young quarterbacks in this league, 24 touchdowns, 9 interceptions this year. He's played really well, Brian. Yeah. He doesn't look the part from just a pure passing form, but the ball gets there. He's got a lot of confidence in Hopkins. They trade for Demaryius Thomas. That's another weapon. They've got a balanced attack. I think I'm worried about his mobility a little bit more than I was with Jared Goff, that's for sure.
Making plays with his legs. We saw that with Marcus Mariota, that's a problem for our defense when we allow a quarterback to make some plays, scramble around a little bit, and either throw the ball down the field or run. Deshaun Watson has that ability. One of the things you have to make sure that you're paying attention to, linebackers, be disciplined. Use your eyes, use your keys, and then you have to go out there and be aggressive. And if he wants to run the football, let's go smack him in the mouth, make his day long. We've done that before in the past. I think we do that same thing again.
The defense of the Houston Texans led by J.J. Watt. What a superstar coming off his series of injuries the last couple of years. He's bounced back. He's a candidate for NFL Defensive Player of the Year. 14.5 sacks. He and Jadeveon Clowney off the edge will be a huge challenge for Lane Johnson and for Jason Peters.
The one thing as a quarterback that you don't like to see, of course, you don't like the pressure in your face because you're trying to step into your throw, but the guys coming off the edge, that makes you scoot up further and further in the pocket and try to connect on your throws. It's going to be hard. Of course, Lane Johnson is going to have his hands full. Jason Peters will have his hands full. But Doug Peterson, as a play caller, has to make sure that we have a tight end chipping these guys at the beginning of the play, a running back as a secondary blocker, help these tackles out, allow Nick Foles to feel safe and comfortable in the pocket. We saw what he's able to do when he feels that way. He is able to get the ball downfield. We just have to make sure that we protect him early on in the game.
Brian, some numbers for you. The Texans have allowed 258 yards passing per game. That's 26th in the NFL. They've also allowed 3.6 yards per carry. That's tied for first in the league. So they are statistically great against the run and not so good against the pass. So you put the game plan together.
I don't change my game plan from last week at all. I want to make this a balanced offense, even if we're getting 2-3 yards in the run game. Make them play the run. Make them, if you're the best in the league against the run, okay, come up and try to play the run. Stop us there. Now your linebackers have to come up a little bit further into the backfield, and we could jump the ball over top of you. We get Zach Ertz involved. Of course, Alshon's going to play a big part in this game plan. Let's spread the ball out. We've been very successful at getting a lot of different guys involved and moving the ball downfield. When you do that, that makes a defense not understand who's going to touch the football. They're not quite sure who's going to get it, and they have to play the entire width of the field, most importantly.
1 o'clock game on Sunday, Lincoln Financial Field, after a huge primetime game on Sunday in L.A., the week before in Dallas. Any concerns, Brian, of an emotional letdown for the Philadelphia Eagles?
You know, I think this is a veteran team. They have some very good veteran leadership on this team. We all understand, and the players in the locker room understand what's at stake right now. We're going to be playing in front of our home crowd. I just can't see our team letting themselves down. They've come too far at this point, and now we have to go out there and try to find a way to win a home game in front of the best fans in the NFL against a very good football team.
I got to give the NFL credit for this schedule. They hoped that this time slot, this game would be a big one. 1 o'clock game on the Sunday before Christmas. And the Texans are rolling. The Eagles back in the race in the NFC playoff picture. So Sunday will be a fun day at Lincoln Financial Field. That's our first look at the Houston Texans. Brian Westbrook, Dave Spadaro, thank you for joining us.